Okay, so today we are going to talk about undergraduate university application process and then the application requirements and entry requirements. What do you need to have if you would like to apply for university? But before that, let me give you three stories from three students who I worked with before in 2 years ago, 3 years ago, in similar situation like this, and you will find one of these stories similar to your life story as well. So the first one is this young lady, Amira. She was, when she came to Olive, to our course, she was 21 years old from Eritrea, and she fled the country because of the war and civil war, and she was unable to complete her high school education, which means when she came to the UK, she didn't have high school diploma. She was unsure about the opportunities available here in the UK. So basically, she didn't know what to do, where to go, how to register for college, how to plan for language learning, and so on. And she didn't have any information. But she wanted to continue her studies and build a better future for herself. However, she didn't know what to do, and there wasn't anyone to show her and to guide her through the education system here in the UK. So this could be similar to the story of some of you. You want to learn language, you want to study a course in university or in college, but you don't know how to do it. And you don't have the high school diploma or the entry requirements for that course because you couldn't finish your education back in your countries for whatever reason. So that was the first story, Amira. The second story that I'm going to share with you is the story of Hassan. And some of you may find yourself similar to his story. 35 years old from Afghanistan, and he studied engineering in Afghanistan and finished his studies and came to the UK with a bachelor degree in engineering. He knew that he wants to go back to become an engineer here in the UK, but didn't know how to apply to university. He didn't know whether he can use his undergraduate degree, his university degree from Afghanistan, to apply for a postgraduate degree here in the UK or not. And then he didn't know if he can use it to apply for jobs as well. And he wanted to learn more about how to find jobs and how to apply for postgraduate master courses. And he came to Olive for that. And this could be similar to some of you. And the third person that I'm going to share with you her story is Sabah, 28 years old, when she joined Olive, a refugee from Iran. And she studied and worked as a nurse. So she finished uh, work studying nursing in Iran, worked for a few years as a nurse in Iran, but then came to the UK as a refugee. And then she wanted to go back and work in the NHS as a nurse, but she didn't know what is the process of requalification to become a nurse here in the UK. And then again, she came to Olive for that reason. So you can see three different person with three different stories. One very kind of early, young, without any qualification. The second one with qualification without work experience. And then the third one with qualification with work experience. The main problem for all of them was they didn't know what to do and how to do it. And, and they didn't have anyone to give them the information, the guidance that they needed. And that's the purpose of this course. So we are going to learn together these four main steps. Well, the first one is about understanding your current situation. So what is your current situation? What is the current qualification that you have? Or what you need to do to get to the level that you can apply for university? and your current personal circumstances. So how your immigration status is, your financial status in terms of, can you have a student loan? Do you need a scholarship? Do you need support with your financial situation or not? So when we know that together, and you know what is your current situation, then we can plan for the next step. So what you can do from here. So what are the options that you have? Can you apply for undergraduate, or you need to take some time learning more English, or you need to go to college and having some more courses before to applying to university. So that's the next step, defining the goals and planning for future. And then the third one is identifying what you need to do. That could be about learning more language. That could be about doing some courses in the university. That could be about doing some voluntary job hours in a community center just to practice your English and learn more. Or taking like an IELTS preparation course to learn academic reading and writing and preparing yourself for IELTS. And then the last one, just giving you a plan. This is the next steps that you need to do. So breaking down into goals and giving you advice on what is the most important steps, or what are the most important steps that you need to take in the next 3 months, 6 months, and a year. So that is what we are going to do together in the next 4 weeks. But basically, after that, it's not the end of it. You are going to stay with Olive after these 4 weeks. And whenever you need help, whenever you need support, you always can come back to me or to other teachers, because you are going to have our emails and phone numbers and WhatsApps and everything. So probably in the next month or the next 2 months, you need some support, you have some questions to ask, you need someone to help you with something, then you can always come back and have the support and information that you need. So basically, these are the 3 things that you need to have in mind as we go forward. So first of all, think about having a plan. Whatever you want to do, it's difficult without a plan. You should have a clear plan on what I am going to do in the next month, in the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and 3 years. And we are going to learn more about planning together. But at the same time, you should be patient. So because these things take time, language learning requires time. It's not something that you can do in a day or 2 or a week. So you need to spend some time to learn language, and some time to gather information, and some time to find what you can to do, and some time to apply and being successful in what you are applying for. But what can make you successful is having perseverance. And by perseverance, we mean you need to continue doing these things, because if you don't do it every day, it's going to take more time, especially for language learning. It's something that requires you to do something in English every day, to listen to something, to read something, to speak with someone in English, and to listen and write as well. So make sure, and we are going to learn together in the next few weeks on how to learn more in shorter time by learning every day. So have plans, be patient, but do hard work every day. So this is what we are going to do, knowing where you are, and then what options do you have, and planning for your future. And hopefully in few years time, it depends on your level. For some of you, it could be much quicker in the 6 months or a year. For some of you, it may take a year or 2, but eventually, many of our students in the past, they managed to enter university or find a job. So that's not something that is impossible. How I would say, actually, it's not that difficult to do, but that requires you to plan and just continue with that plan for a year or 2, and then you will be in university, hopefully finding the jobs that you want, or having any other plan that you would like to have. Any question before I start explaining the education system? Anyone has any question? If you have, please switch your microphones on and ask any question that you may have. Okay, so feel free to ask questions anytime, okay? You can ask questions through your microphone or writing your questions in the chat box or just sending me emails later after the session. What I would like you to do is just taking some time and looking at this picture. So try to read everything in this picture, and then I'm going to start explaining this picture to you and what is in this picture. So take some time to go through all those levels from level 1 to level 8, read, and then I explain it for you. Okay, basically, this is the structure of the education system here in the UK. It's a level-based system. So we have 8 different levels from level 1 up to level 8. And this is similar or sometimes different to education system in the countries that we come from and you come from. So basically, level 1 and level 2 are high school levels. So here in the UK, they call it GCSE. That's the 2 years at the end of the high school that the students graduate from the high school and go to the college. If you finished your high school in your countries, it doesn't matter which country. So if you finish your high school and you have a paperwork, a certificate which shows that you finished your high school and you have a high school diploma, it could have different names in different countries. So in Arabic countries, it may have an Arabic name. In other countries, it may have different name. But basically, anything that shows you finished your high school diploma means you are here level 1 or level 2. That's similar equivalent to GCSE here in the UK. Okay? Well, whether it's level 1 or level 2, it depends on your grades, on your marks, on the average points that you have from that qualification. So higher means GCSE level 2, and then if your marks, your grades are not so good, that's GCSE level 1. But that's it. If you finished 11 years, 12 years in high school and primary school, secondary school, whatever the name is in your country, but in most countries, you go to primary school and high school for 10, 11, or 12 years, and you finish with high school diploma, that's level 1 or level 2. Then students here in the UK, they go to college, which is level 3. So they spend about 2 years in college between age 16 to 18. And during that time, they do a course which is A-level, level 3 course. Again, in many of your countries, you go to college before going to university, and you have some qualification which shows that is a level 3. But for many of you, if you finished high school, but you don't have A-level, you didn't go to the college courses before university, you may need to do a college course here before applying for university. We will talk about that later in our next slides. Then, when they finish level 3, they can start university from level 4, undergraduate. And then they finish undergraduate level 6, bachelor, and then they can apply for level 7, which is postgraduate masters. And if they finish postgraduate master, they can apply for doctorate or PhD, which is level 8. The point is, to apply for any level, you should have a qualification from the previous level. So which means if you want to apply for level 4, you need to have a level 3 qualification. If you apply for anything level 3, you need to have GCSE level 2. So have that in mind and try to see where you are on these levels, on this ladder. So are you level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, 6, 7, or 8? Like I had a conversation with Usman Yar earlier, and he said that he finished masters in his country and now planning to apply for PhD, which means he is in level 7, and because he finished level 7, he can apply for level 8. He doesn't need to do level 7 again here in this country. He can use the master's degree to apply for a PhD degree. I met Ferouz a few days ago in Manchester, and she said that she finished high school in her country, started university as well to study nursing, but she couldn't finish university, which means it's very likely for her to be able, she's about level 3 because she has started university. So it depends on university. She can use that to apply for level 4 and go to university again here in the UK. But sometimes she may need to do a couple of courses in college. And she's doing now, like math, science, IT courses in college before applying for university. So that's the point. Just try to figure out where you are in this map, because then it can help you and it can help us to plan for the next step. If you don't know where you are, it's difficult to plan what to do next. But hopefully, during this session, you are going to learn more about where you are on this map. I'm going to send you the slides of the session today, and when you get the slide, you will have this link. Can you see link to the booklet? If you click on that, it will take you to, let me see, to this page, to this booklet. And in this booklet, you will find information about education systems in not every country. We don't have all the countries there, but about many countries that you probably find some of them useful for you. Like we have Eritrea. I know some people are from Eritrea here. We have Sudan, we have Kenya, Lebanon. There are many, but not all. For instance, we don't have Afghanistan here. But basically, you can learn from this booklet more about how your qualifications are assessed and evaluated here in the UK. Okay, so make sure you take probably 2-3 minutes going through this, and then like for instance, if you are from Syria, you can go to this page for Syria and you can see how your qualifications are evaluated and considered here. Like for Syria, and they say if you have this qualification, this is similar to GCSE here. Can you see? So if you have it, then that means GCSE level 2, and then you can apply to go to college or to university. You don't need to do it again here in the UK. So it's a very good guide to give you information about how you can use your qualifications from home here in the UK. Like I just jumped to Eritrea because we have some people from Eritrea, but then you can do it for yourself as well. So this is the education system in Eritrea. So, and this is how they, if you have Eritrean Secondary Education Certificate, ESECE, then that's GCSE, but it depends on your level as well. So if it's excellent 75 to 100, then GCSE A, and then you can go continue through that. Also, it talks about university degrees from Eritrea. So if you have bachelor degree from Eritrea, is it a bachelor here in the UK or not, and how you can use it. So make sure that you go through that, you get some more information for yourself, and then if you have any question, just send me an email or bring your questions to the next week's session. Any question before we move forward? Okay, excellent. So one thing else or something else that you can see in this picture, here in the UK, if you want to continue your education, you have three options: academic, vocational, and applied, which means you don't need to go to university necessarily. It doesn't mean that everyone should go to university. Not every student here in the UK go to university. Like 50% probably go to university, 50% they prefer and decide to go through vocational training or to go through work route or applied training. We are going to learn about them as well. So academic route means university. You go to high school, you go to college, you go to university, undergraduate, and if you are interested, you do postgraduate. However, many people, they decide and they prefer to go to vocational. Vocational means job related. It means training that prepares you for jobs instead of going to university. And that's a different system. And we are going to learn about that as well. If you don't want, you are not interested to go, and not for every job you need to go to university. And then the third one is about applied or work route or work experience based. So some people prefer to start working and learning by working, by experience. And that's a different option that you have. And we are going to learn about that one as well. So some people would prefer to work in the healthcare, but they don't want to go to university and study nursing. So there are options for them to start working and learning by working and then improving through more work experience. So these are two main things that you need to have in mind from this map. The first one, try to understand where you are on this, because then if you know that you are here, then we can plan to move to the next one. If you want to go to university and you don't have level 3, then we can plan for you and you can plan for yourself to have your level 3 qualification. The next thing is to decide, and not now, but in the next few months, to decide which one is the best one for you. Do you want to go to university? Do you want to continue through vocational work-related education, going to college? And then the third one is to go start working and learning by experience and moving forward through having more experience. Any question? Okay. The second thing that you need to have in mind, apart from your university, high school, college qualification, you need to prove your level of English, because it's not just about refugees. Anyone who comes from a non-English speaking country, they need to prove their level of language if they want to apply for university or college. Okay? And the level is different. So if you want to go to college, you need a different level. If you need to go to university, you need a different level. For undergraduate, you need a different level for postgraduate. And if you want to apply for PhD, you need a different level. And then there are small differences between universities. Some universities, for instance, for undergraduate, they say like IELTS 6, some say 6.5, some say 5.5. Okay, so it is important, while you're understanding where you are on this map, it's important to understand where you are on this one as well in terms of your language level, and what is the language level that you need to achieve and to have if you are planning to apply to university. Before I continue with this, there is a question that I'm going to answer from what is the DC between functional skills level 2 and GCSE level 2? That's a very good question, and I'm going to explain it later. But basically, what I would like you to see is level 2 is level 2. And for level 2, you have different options. So some people decide to go and do GCSE in college to have level 2. Some people prefer to do functional skills level 2. But as long as they are level 2, then you can use them to apply for level 3. And that's the main point that we are going to learn today together. Don't think that you have just one option. If you want to go to university, you should do GCSE. That's one option, and that's a good option. But there are other options available as well, including functional skills. So many people that we worked with, instead of doing GCSE level 2, because it takes time, so it usually takes probably 2 years, sometimes can take up to 3 years. Some people prefer to do functional skills, and then using those functional skills level 2, which takes like a year, to apply for a level 3 course. So that's a very good question, and we are going to learn more about that later. But have that in mind. For every level, as you can see here, especially for level 1, 2, 3, you have more than one option. And it's important to understand which one is the best option for you. And when I say best, one is about time, which one takes less time, and which one is more convenient and easy to pass and jump to the next step. Does that make sense, Haftumo?
Yes, that's clear. Thank you.
No problem at all. Okay, so in terms of language, again, you have different options, especially if you're applying for college or for university. Most universities, they say IELTS, but IELTS is not the only thing that they accept. We worked with many students who went to university with level 2 functional skills. So the main point is you need to be at this level. Can you see, probably you can see this, the red arrow here. So this is the line between pre-university and university language level. So most universities, they want you to be IELTS 6 or 6.5, which means B2 or level 2 ESOL or functional skills. So again, it depends on you for undergraduate, and it depends on the university that you're applying for. Some people decide to do IELTS, but some find it easier to do a level 2 functional skills. And both of them, they do the same work. So the main point is you need to find a way to jump above this red line here. And it doesn't matter whether you do it by IELTS or you do it with ESOL functional skills. And again, for you to have in mind that you have different options when it comes to language. So for instance, I'm going to, let me to go to like a university website. If you plan to apply for BSc Engineering, which is Manchester Metropolitan University, okay? So for instance, you are planning to apply for mechanical engineering in a university. I'll just give you the example of MMU, University in Manchester, but this is, you can check for any other university, any other program on their webpage, okay? Let's see what are their entry requirements. When it comes to language, let's find where is their language requirements. Well, let's start with what they want in terms of because again, it's not just about GCSE. So as you can see, they say for entry requirement, and this it's a good point. And again, going back to the question that Haftumo asked earlier, so they want GCSE or level 2 functional skills. You see, they have the same value when you apply for many universities. So again, don't think that you should have GCSE and it's compulsory, because many universities, they have other options, which sometimes and most of the times they are easier and they are quicker for you to sit and to pass. So they accept GCSE, they accept functional skills, and there are many other, if you go through here, there are many other equivalent qualifications that they accept. So, and we are going to learn about those options later. And this is the same when it comes to language. You see, so it says IELTS score required for IELTS with no, they accept 6. And then it says there are more information to go through. So we should find that. But I'm aware of this. We need to go to another web page to find it. But they accept like functional skills English level 2 for instead of IELTS 6, because as you have seen here, IELTS 6 is same if you pass 6 to 6.5, it's same as passing level 1 to level 2. So they are open to level 2 as well. So these are the two main points for the first part of our session today. These are the two main points that I would like you to have in mind. First, you need to have some qualifications based on what you want to apply for. If you want to apply for 3, you should have 2. If you don't have 2, then we should plan on what is the best way of having a 2 so that you can apply for 3. If you want to go to university, which is starting from 4, you should have a 3. And then at the same time, you need to think about your language as well. So you need to be somewhere around for university 6, 6.5, which is level 2 functional skills or ESOL. If you plan to go to college, again, level 1 English is something that most colleges want for level 1 or level 2 qualifications. So have these two in mind. So after this session, during the week before the next session, just try to think about where you are and then how far you are. So if you are planning to go to level 4 and you are level 2, you have 2 steps. So how we can just go through those 2 steps to get you to the level of university. So what I'm going to explain now is about, okay, so if you have GCSE or high school, but you don't have A level, so you have level 2, but you don't have level 3 now, what are your options? So if you are here, you have 2, but you don't have 3, and you want to go to university, which is 4. What options do you have here? And then later, if you don't have 2, what options do you have to have your 2 and go to 3? Okay, so let's start with if you don't have 2. So the first option, which we just talked about now, is functional skills. And as you've seen on MMU, Manchester Metropolitan University, many universities, they accept functional skills instead of GCSE. So there are some universities that they don't accept, but those are very like high-ranked top universities, which we don't need to go to them necessarily. If we can, that's fine. But like 90% of universities in the UK, they accept other qualifications than GCSE or A levels. They accept functional skills and so on and so forth. So the first option that many students from refugee backgrounds go through that is by doing functional skills, which are GCSE equivalent in college. So you go to your local college in the city or town that you live, and you can take some functional skills level 2 courses. It could be functional skills English, math, IT, or any other level 2 course, which can help you then to jump to level 3. So as I said, English, math, or ICT, these are the main ones that many students take to prepare yourself to go to university. Many of the good point about GCSE, about functional skills, is that you can do it in few weeks, in 3 months, in 1 semester or 2 semesters, instead of spending a year or 2 for GCSE. So that's what some students, especially like refugee background students, they find useful in doing functional skills instead of GCSE, especially if you are good in speaking language, you are like intermediate language speaker, then some of these courses could be too easy for you and too boring for you. So it's better to just move quickly to the next stage when you can learn new things. So these are the courses suitable for students without a level 2. So if you haven't finished your high school in your country, you can do functional skills instead. And the way that you can do it just by going to your local college. Or sometimes colleges, they say if you are still waiting for your asylum claim and you don't have refugee status, some colleges could be somehow difficult to register you, but most of them, they register you for functional skills, IT, math, and English. And these 3 are very helpful. If you need them and if you are not in college now, just go to your nearest college and try to apply and register yourself for English, math, and ICT. And they can help you in finding jobs later or in applying for level 3 and going to university. The other option that you have is a course called BTech. Okay, again, if you go back to this one, so here in level 2, we have BTech as other option as well. So if you don't want to do GCSE and if you don't want to do functional skills, you can do BTech as your third option. We are going to learn more about BTech later when we talk about vocational courses, job-related courses. But for now, just have that in mind. BTech, many universities accept that as level 2. So you can use it to go to university. But then, at the same time, you can use that to apply for jobs because that's a vocational job-related training. As I said, we are going to talk about BTech later in week 3 when we talk about vocational training. But the main option for you is basically functional skills. And as I said, some students still decide to go and do GCSEs. So you can go to college instead of functional skills. You can do GCSE, but it's a good option if for younger ones, if you're 18 years, 19 years, 20, 21, 22, probably you have enough time and it's better for you to spend more time in college and learn more before going to university. But some of you are, if you are in your 30s or 40s, or you are advanced in your education and you find these courses boring, then functional skills is a better option because you can move quickly on to the next step. But if you have level 2 and you want to apply for university, which is level 4, there is a gap which is level 3. Here, you have 2 options, 2 main options: university foundation year and access to higher education courses. I start with the second one, with access to higher education. So basically, you have high school diploma from your country, or you have functional skills from UK, which is level 2. You would like to go to university, which is level 4. In most cases, universities want you to do a level 3 before applying to university to fill that gap. So going back to the map, you finished high school GCSE functional skills here or in your country. You want to go to level 4, which is the beginning of university. Then you need something here, level 3. So some universities, they suggest you do something called Access to Higher Education course. And that's a course that you can do for 1 year in college. And during that year, they will prepare you for what you want to study in college. The Access course that you take is based on what you want to study in college. I had this conversation with Feiruz the other day because she would like to study nursing in university. She can do 1 year access to nursing in college and then apply to university, because access to nursing is level 3, and then she can start applying for level 2 university course. And most of the time, it's not difficult to enter an access course as long as you can show that you have previous education here in the UK or somewhere else in your countries. Then they have a very kind of assessment. So you can do some online tests, reading test, writing test, math test, which is not that difficult. And through that assessment, they can accept you for the access course. We have more than 1,000 different subjects, access courses, and you can choose the one which is relevant to what you want to study later. For instance, if you like the example that I gave you, if you're planning to apply for nursing or courses in healthcare, probably apply for access course for nursing. Or if you are planning to study business or management or marketing in university, then access to business. Or if you are planning to become a teacher, studying teaching and art and education in university, then access course for you is access to education course that you need to do in college. So have that in mind. When I send you a slides, you can see these hyperlinks, the blue lines. If you click on them, it will take you to a page when you can have more in detail information about all the access courses and how to choose the right course, about the diploma, how to apply, and so on and so forth. So make sure that you go and you search, and if you have any question, just let us know. The second option that you have, and you can see it on this map as well, is something called foundation year. So basically, university undergraduate course here in the UK is 3 years. So for you to have your bachelor degree, you need to do year 1, year 2, and year 3. But there are students who are not prepared for university to start year 1 yet. And for them, many universities here in the UK, they offer foundational or foundation year, which means instead of 3 years in university, you will spend 4 years. Foundation year, year 1, year 2, and year 3. So some students may prefer to do access 1 year in college, and then year 1, year 2, year 3 in university. Some students, they prefer to start with foundation year. Foundation year in year 1, year 2, and year 3. Foundation year is not in college, it's in university. So it's year 0, and then you start year 1 after that. And then that's part of the university course. So when you apply for university, you need to apply for courses with foundation year. So if you click on that blue hyperlink, it will take you to a page where you can have more information about what is university foundation year. You can use your Google translator to translate it into your language if it's difficult for you to understand all of them. There is no problem. It's better if you read it in English, but basically, if you feel more comfortable reading that in any other language, please do so, because the point is you just learning that information. So you need to apply for foundation year, which means you will stay in undergraduate for 4 years instead of 2 years. A very easy way of finding course. So for instance, a nursing course with foundation year. If you just Google it, then you see that many universities, they offer foundation courses for students who want to do nursing. Foundation course or computer science BSc course with foundation year. Again, many universities, they offer, almost every university, they have courses with foundation year. So that's not difficult to find. BSc computing with foundation year, University of Arden, Bradford, Cumbria. It depends on where you are and which universities you want to go. But like for instance, University of Manchester, they have that BSc computer science with foundation year, which means it's 4 years. So as you can see here, it's 1 year, the foundation year itself, but together you are going to spend 4 years in university. So hopefully now you have some understanding of, if you are level 2 and you want to go to university, then probably it's better for you to do access or foundation year, because it increases your chance of having offer for university. If you don't have them, and if you are still level 2, then functional skills or BTech or GCSE are your options that you need to have, then applying for access or for foundation and then going to university. Any question? Sometimes these information are too much to learn, but that's not a problem, okay? You will have the slides. You will have, thanks Feiruz, no problem at all. You can see the video later. So you will have the slides, you will have the video, and then try to come back and listen again and watch again to learn more. And then also follow the links that you have to have more information, and then come back to the next class with your questions. So, any question? Okay, great. I'm going to, in the second part, we are going to learn more about the application process for undergraduate. But I'm going to give you just probably 3 minutes. It's until 5 past 11. Just take a break, and then we start talking about the application process for university. Just take 3 minutes break. And if you have a question, just feel free to ask. Okay, so let's start again. So some of you may plan to apply for university for next year. So basically, if you plan to go to university in 2025, in September 2025, which is the beginning of new academic year or the beginning of the next academic year, you need to submit your application by 29 January 2025. Okay, so that's the deadline for undergraduate applications in here in the UK. That doesn't mean that there is no chance of applying after that, but many courses, they will close their application end of January. There will be some courses to apply for after January through late submission, but you have more chances if you apply before the end of the deadline, before the end of January. The other point is some of you would say, oh, I don't have the IELTS or ESOL or the grades or the qualifications that I need before the deadline. That's not a problem, okay? So you can submit your application and then you have time later before midsummer. So you have 3-4 more months to complete your application process. So don't think that if you don't have language certificate or if you don't have your functional skills yet, you cannot apply. You can apply, and then you have time to finish your course and then or pass your exam and then complete your application process. There is a link here, and if you click on that link, it will take you to the UCAS page. So basically, every person who would like to apply for undergraduate courses here in the UK, they should submit their application through this website, UCAS. So for postgraduate, it is different. You should apply to universities separately. So if you want to study postgraduate engineering, University of London, you should directly apply to that university. But for undergraduate, everything is centralized through UCAS. All students, they apply through or they submit their application through UCAS, and then UCAS will send those applications to universities that the students want to apply for. So if you go through that link, it will take you to the page about deadlines. We are going to learn more about the application process and how to fill the application form if you plan to apply this year. But what you need to apply. So the application process itself is quite easy. So if you know how to fill the form, then it takes you less than 15 minutes or even or not more than 30 minutes, worst case scenario. But usually if you have all the information available, it's quite easy. 15 to 30 minutes, you can easily fill the form. The first part of form, and then I'm going to share with you a video, and in that video, I show everything on the video about how to fill the form. In the first part, you fill your personal information. So your name, your date of birth, your country of origin, and whatever, your address, and so on. In the second part, you need to add your previous education. So here, you don't need to upload anything. You don't need to have your papers and all of them ready. The only thing is you need to fill the form and answer the questions. So for instance, I have high school diploma from this high school in Syria, or I have college degree from this college in Eritrea. So you need just to fill the form about the previous education that you have from here or from UK, or I did ESOL course in college in London. So any education that you have, you need just to add it to the system. The third part is about previous employment information. So it's not necessary. So some of you, many students who go to university, they don't have any employment before, but if you have, you can add it. If you don't have, you don't need to have it. But if you have it, I worked 4 years in Nigeria as whatever, just as an engineer, just add it to your application. The next part, which is an important and sometimes it takes time, you need to choose, you have only 5 options. So you need to choose what are the courses and universities that you would like to apply to. So here you can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, but not more than 5. You can choose 3. So 5 is not compulsory, but you cannot have more than 5. And it's important for you to take some time and understand what are the courses and what are the universities that you would like to apply for. Sometimes you may decide to go for 5 courses in 5 universities. Sometimes you can choose 2, 3 in one university as well. You need to have your personal statement. We are going to have one session about personal statement next week. So you need to write 1 page about why you want to go to university and study that particular course. Okay, you are going to learn about what to write and how to write your personal statement. You need a person to be your reference. You need a referee, and that person is someone who worked with you as a teacher. So if you have access to your teachers from past in your country or teachers here that you go to college with, they can be your referee. If not, I and other people here on Olive, we are happy to be your referee. You just can add our name and email address to your application, and then we can add the reference letter when required. And then you need to have the proof of language. But if you don't have it, like I said, you can provide it later. You can do your application, you can submit your application, but provide that language qualification or certificate later. You will have 3, 4, 5 more months to make it ready for university. So these are the main ones. So which means you need to have all that information, just then take some time to fill the form. The part that may take time is about searching for which courses, which universities, and then the second part is about writing a good personal statement. The structure of personal statement has changed from this year, so you need to answer some questions instead of writing a personal statement, but that's not an issue. We are going to learn about how to do it. In terms of the English language, if you need to prove your level of language, and if you need to improve language, and if you are not in that level of going to university yet, make sure that you start ESOL functional skills as soon as you can. Just go to a college near where you live, or many charities, many community centers, many community organizations, they offer ESOL courses to refugee and asylum seeker students. So try to register yourself as soon as you can with a ESOL or functional skills course. There are some IELTS preparation courses. Well, there are many, but they are expensive. But there are some organizations having IELTS preparation course for refugee students. We have it in Olive, and I think some of you go to IELTS preparation with Jan. There are many online learning platforms which I'm going to give you information about some of them. And some universities, they offer pre-sessional English courses. Again, I'm going to share with you some of those opportunities. But the main one is try to register for a college course as soon as you can. Try to see if there is any community charity learning opportunity around the place that you live. And then self-learning is important as well. Like I said, you need to do it every day through reading, listening, speaking, and writing. If you go to the link that I added here, it takes you to a page where you can check for ESOL courses around where you live. Okay, what you need to have here is just adding ESOL, your postcode, or the town, and then most of the ESOL courses are there on the website if you don't know where to find an ESOL course. So like if you're in Blackpool, they have this one for beginners. If you're in South Shield, Cambridge, Bournemouth, Huntington, so make sure, and it's easy to find through Google as well. There are just Google it, ESOL course around your postcode. But if it's difficult to find, this page can help you as well. Like I mentioned, there are some sessional English courses. Some universities, they have these courses for students. So again, I added some links here. If you go to any of these links, you can see that some universities, like University of Salford, they have pre-sessional, and UCAS can show you which universities they have pre-sessional language courses. And this UCAS search, we are going to learn more about the UCAS search website as well, about how to find information about the courses that you would like to learn. The third one is about IELTS preparation courses. Like I said, we have it here in Olive. There is an organization called RefuAid. If you're not familiar with RefuAid, you can go through this web page. This is their web page. RefuAid specifically supports refugee students with language learning and IELTS preparation. If you go through the language page, you can see that they have IELTS application process for refugee students. They have language schools for refugee students in some cities, and they have online language programs as well. So again, go through their website, check the information, and if you are interested and if you see that useful and if you need that support, the application process is online. Just go through the application process, register your interest, and then they come back to you. They are quite busy, so sometimes you need to wait, but the sooner you join them, the sooner they can support you with what you need. But generally speaking, just you need to be close to IELTS. If you are entry level, it's better to go to college. But if you are more advanced, close to like level, if you are in level 2 ESOL, then they can support you better, and it's more likely for them to support you because level 2 ESOL is close to IELTS, and then it makes it easier for them to support you and help you through that process. And online learning, like I said, if it's difficult for you to find places around where you live, especially I understand some of you may live in small towns, and if you may not have access to college, but there are these days many online platforms. As long as you have access to mobile phone and internet, then these are some of the websites that you can use for language learning. And a very famous one is Duolingo, and they have a language exam, and some universities, they accept the certificate of Duolingo these days. So this is the web page for Duolingo. Many of you, I'm sure that you are familiar with Duolingo. If not, that's a very good, you can have the app, you can go through the courses, you can finish the course and have the certificate. And some universities, they started considering, and some colleges considering Duolingo qualifications as well. So a very useful one. And like I said, there are many community centers, many charities that they provide you with language learning free of charge. And I added some links here. So if you are in Manchester, if you go through this link, it takes you, or anywhere around Greater Manchester, it takes you to this page, Learn English in Greater Manchester. And here you can join or find classes in Manchester and other cities around Manchester, Rochdale, Salford, Bury, if you're in Manchester. And then the application process is online. You register your application online, and then they come back to you and they link you with the nearest language program around you. And this is quite quick in Manchester. If you are in Birmingham, there is a link for you, which takes you to Learn English in Birmingham. Again, the process is online. You can easily find support and find help. If you are in London, this is the link for you. I'm just waiting for the page to load. Yes, so this is the page to to the Mayor of London page, where you can see information about how to find English classes near you in London, anywhere in London that you are, and outside London as well. So you can find formal ESOL classes, which is college, and you can find informal ESOL classes, which is charity and community learning as well. So very, very useful resources here as well. And then the last one is if you are in Northeast, like around Newcastle and those areas, Hartpool, Stoke-on-Tees, Sunderland, Darlington, those areas, again, they have their own web page. You can just check, click on the city. If you have any specific problem with finding ESOL course, just send me an email or let me know about the city you are, your postcode, and probably we can help you with specifically finding a language course. But these are the main cities and towns and areas, Manchester, Birmingham, London, and Northeast, that you have access to their web pages here. And then the best way, I think, that I would say, the best way is to have, because it's about time. It takes time to learn English. So always try to have a combination. So go to college in the morning, but have some evening sessions in the community center as well. So two days, 3 days in college is not enough. The best way is to have like 2 days of college and then 2 or 3 days of evening classes or online courses, because the more hours that you spend learning, the easier and the quicker you can get to the level that you need to go to university. So always try to have a mix of college, online, community together to make sure that you learn something every day. I added some information again about language learning on this page. So there are some websites that you can, because for many of you, you find it difficult to practice your speaking. So one good way is to use these language exchange platforms like Tandem, or there is another one called HelloTalk. There are some people there that they would like to practice their language as well. So sometimes you practice your English and you help someone else to practice their Arabic. So you can do language exchange. An English person can learn Arabic from, or whatever language you speak, Tigrini from you, and then you can teach that person to practice their, and they can teach you to practice your English as well. So again, if you're struggling with finding people to practice, that's a good way to use those online platforms. The other good way that I would suggest, and most of our students, they benefited from, is by doing voluntary job in a place that you work with English-speaking people. So that's a very good opportunity to improve your language. Also listening to English radio, English TV, English news, reading. I understand sometimes, especially in the beginning, it could be difficult, but try to have some practice of English every day through reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Going back to what you need to apply for, this is the list. So you need to be aware and making sure that what is your previous education and have it ready to fill in the form. That could be GCSE, A-level, high school diploma, BTEC, or functional skills. We already talked about this. So if you don't have level 3, you have these two options. So instead of applying for university, because the point that you need to have in mind, university application, you need to pay a fee. So let me check to UCAS fee application. It's not that much, UCAS fees for 2025. You need to pay, when you submit your application for university, you need to pay £28.50. So if you are not sure that you have the entry requirements, it's better not to spend that money. It's not too much, but if you know that, oh, I need to do access, or I need to do foundation year, or I need to do functional skills, it's better not to apply. First, prepare yourself and then apply the following year. So you have foundation, consider applying for foundation year, access to HE courses, through the college, functional skills and BTech that we talked about. So the other, we will go into the detail of application process next week. But the other thing that you need to be aware of is your financial situation. Okay, universities are in the UK that you need to pay to study in university. Even the home students, people from here, they pay for their studies, but most people, they apply for loan. So they don't need to pay from your pocket. You can apply for a student loan from government or a student finance company. For you, for people from refugee backgrounds, if you have your refugee status, you can apply for a student loan. There is no problem. The only issue could be, so you can apply for loan for a degree that you don't have. So if you have bachelor degree from your country, you cannot apply for a loan for a bachelor degree again here in the UK. If you have master's degree from your country, you cannot apply for a master's degree again for a loan here in the, you can study master, but they don't give you loan because they say you already have that degree. Why do you want to study that again? So you can use a student loan if you have refugee status, but for a degree that you don't have. If you have bachelor from your country or from anywhere else, you can use loan to study masters, but not to study a bachelor again. So these are for refugees. If you're an asylum seeker, if you're still waiting for an asylum claim to be processed at the moment, you don't have access to a student loan. So you cannot apply for a student loan from government until you have refugee status. So, which means if you want to go to university, do submit your application, because who knows, maybe by January, by February, by March, you will have your refugee status. So don't think that you need to wait until having your refugee status to apply. No, apply for university. If hopefully you will have your refugee status before the start of the course, which means you can apply for a student loan. If not, many universities, they provide a scholarship for students who are still asylum seeker. They are called sanctuary scholarships. And if you are asylums, and for many refugees, they can apply for sanctuary scholarship as well. I added the link here. We are going to talk more about sanctuary scholarship and the application process next week. But if you go to the page, this is the page for Student Action for Refugees, and they coordinate the scholarship program for asylum seekers and refugees. So if you go to this page, University Scholarships, you will see that many universities here in the UK, this is the list of universities, or I think around 50 universities, they have a scholarship for asylum seekers and refugee students as well. So for instance, the University of, I think some of you may be in Bristol. So University of Bristol, they have a scholarship for asylum seekers, for refugees, for people on humanitarian protection. If they want to study foundation year, if they want to study undergraduate, and if you want to study postgraduate masters. So from now until next week, please go through this page and see which universities offer what. So because the universities are different, some of them, as you can see, this university in Wales, Aberystwyth, they offer a scholarship to foundation year, undergraduate, and postgraduate masters. However, University of Aston, which is in Birmingham, they offer only undergraduate and postgraduate masters, not foundation. Bangor, they only offer postgraduate master scholarship, which means if you are asylum seeker and if you want to study undergraduate and if you need a scholarship, don't apply to Bangor. Apply to universities which give a scholarship for undergraduate to students or for foundation year to asylum seeker students. Some of them, they are different in terms of immigration status. So like Aston, they only give to asylum seekers, whereas Bangor, it's about humanitarian protection and refugee status, not asylum seekers. Some of them, like Bath, it's for asylum seekers and refugees, all. So make sure that your immigration status is there. And then the amount of support that they offer is different as well. Some of them, they offer PhD as well, by the way. So like the University of Birkbeck, they offer PhD scholarship as well. And there are other universities who offer PhD scholarship for asylum seekers and refugees. The amount of support they offer is different. Like University of Aston, they have a fee waiver. Fee waiver means you don't need to pay the tuition fee. You don't need to pay to the university anything. Also, they pay £25,000 during the course of 3 years that you study there for your extra costs, including accommodation and English language support. So if you need to pay for your accommodation, for rent, if you need to pay for your bus ticket, if you need to pay for a laptop, for books, they can help you with extras. They don't pay you cash, but they can help you to pay for some of those expenses. Whereas University of Bangor in Wales, they have fee waiver, which means you don't need to pay tuition fee, and they give you a student accommodation as well, which means you don't need to pay for accommodation. University of Bath in Southwest, they pay up to £7,000, and then they give you student accommodation, and there are some with more, there are some with less. And they open their scholarships next year. So most of them, they are closed now because we have already started this academic year, and next academic year will start next September. So most of these, they will be open after January. And to apply for a scholarship, you need to apply to UCAS or to university first and having an offer from university. We will talk about this later. But what I would like you to do from next week to from this week to next session, just go through the list and see the universities, the level of study that they support and the scholarship that they give, and try to see which universities probably you can because if you live in London, it's difficult to move to, I'm not sure, and especially if you're still asylum seeker and your case is there, your caseworkers, your accommodation is there, it's difficult to move to the north of England, to Birmingham or to Manchester. So you need to find universities around you that you can just easily go to. So go through the page and find more information for yourself about universities and scholarships for refugees. Also, you will find more helpful, suitable information for you through the general page of Student Action for Refugees about, so for instance, if you go back to this page, you can find more information about pre-university courses. So there are some universities who offer preparatory courses, pre-university courses for asylum seekers and refugees. And you can find the list of all of them through this web page. So the Refuate that I just told you about, the Compass project in Birkbeck University, the different scholarships, the foundation year program, the OLIVE, our program is there as well, the Open Learning Initiative, and there are other initiatives across the country that you may benefit from. Also, the English language programs are there, as well as the online courses. So there are many pre-sessional English language programs for asylum seekers and refugees in different universities, as well as many online programs that you can have access to, and they help you with learning more and then improving your English much quicker to be able to go to university and apply for universities. As I said, I'm going to send you the slide deck, but for now, I'm just putting the link to a STAR network in the chat box. So you use that link for now to learn more about the opportunities. Okay, I think that's enough for today. I'm not going to give you more info because I think it's been quite a lot for today to take in. Next week is same time, same link. So next Thursday, 10 to 12 in the morning, we are going to have our second session, and we are going through the application process here, talking more about the higher education application process for undergraduate. I'm going to show you a step-by-step application process for undergraduate. Also, a very short discussion if you are planning to apply for masters and PhDs. There is going to be a short talk about how to apply for those courses. Any question before we finish for today?
Thank you very much, Amir.